please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. I completely forgot what video this is. Normally I would say, I've just recorded a bunch of intros all in one go. This is the first one, okay? The first one. There is no excuse. All right, now I remember. I just looked at my notes. Plot twist. Hey, how'd you like a bit of plot twist? Well, then we got a few of those coming up, I think. Plot twist. You don't know what you're bloody doing when you started doing it. That's something I should say to myself quite regularly, because that happened to be the truth. Anyway, hi there, my name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi. Please like, share, subscribe. Okay, now we're back on track. I feel like we're in familiar territory. Yes, we're talking about plot twist. Plot twist is, again, I'm no freaking clue what I'm doing, but we have lots of plot twists coming with us in Doctor Who. Why? Because the Jodie Whittaker era is being retconned away. Well, mostly, sort of. It's in the eye of the beholder. But basically, all the, I believe anyway, all the law-destroying absolute nonsense is gone, right? Look, you want to try and insert John Hurt in as an extra Doctor. That's cool. You want to insert any random person, as long as they're not a white male, into the Doctors. Not so much. Doesn't work so well. Which was very transparently what Chris Chibnall was trying to do with the Timeless Children. It failed. It failed in every way. But people were like, oh, how can Doctor Who recover from this? With one line. I'll give you an example. Here's what I think happened. That Jodie Whittaker, when she was vomited out the TARDIS in her first moments after regeneration, fell into the toy maker's realm. Thus, all the continuity is kablooey, and everything took place there. It all mattered. Oh, it all so super matters, but no, it was all in a different realm. You see, that's that easy. Then you want to bring Sasha to one back. You say, oh yeah, the toy maker modeled that master on the real one over here. It's not hard, right? It's not. All you got to do is be a writer, which Russell D Davies is. Now, hopefully, his brain isn't completely consumed with the woke mind virus that goes around the world. The woke mind virus is this weird need to adhere to whatever, no matter how insane, right? No matter how bonkers it is, a need to adhere to whatever social media algorithms tell you is good or is moral, I should say. So hopefully he's not there. Who knows? Or Deadstream, it's got a lot of people. I know. I am hoping he's going to retcon away. Anyway, so that was the flimsy premise, which I say in the intro of this, to talk about an article about plot twists, which I quite liked. I was joined by Dan Hadley about halfway through this article. Dan Hadley from the Spacebook. Go and subscribe to his channel. Links in the video notes. It's a fine channel that you should subscribe to today. In my humble opinion, not so humble, because it's always freaking right, baby. You know what's something else I'm always right about? You should subscribe to this channel. Not just wherever you are, but unless you're on Rumble, please subscribe on Rumble, right? But I want you to go over to Rumble and subscribe there. That'll be fan-dabby double dose. Rumble, get your bloody act together. Get the app working in the UK properly, for goodness sake, Rumble is so close to being able to take down YouTube, right? It's so freaking close, but it just needs to pull its act together. What can I tell you? Anyway, like, share, subscribe, comment. Also, like, share, subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe to Dan's channel as well. That's very good. This came from a live stream. I do a live stream every day at about 5 o'clock. Well, mostly at 5 o'clock in the UK time. Join us on the live stream. Then I take the best bits and I release them as videos like this. It's kind of just what I do, baby. It's a normal day for me. This is a Sunday. I'm doing this. Well, Sunday's actually like Monday in Israel. Whole other story. We don't get the weekend the same way you guys do. No, everything's kablooey. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, comment. All those things are fantastic. Now, let me hand over to me from last night. That was really a flimsy segue. Indiana Jones and the Temple of White Men Bad. A flimsy segue, she cried, to this article that looked quite good. 10 insane Doctor Who plot twists that nearly happened. I always like, the road that we never wrote, that we didn't walk. I always thought they're more interesting. Like any TV show worth its salt, Doctor Who has had plenty of great plot twists over the years. Who can forget when River Song was revealed to be the missing child of Amy and River Pond? That really didn't work very well, in my opinion. Or when we found out that the round things inside the TARDIS were actually mini ice cream dispensers. What? I remember that.
Wait, the last one never happened. That's just wishful thinking. I mean, they're probably mini ice cream dispensers as well, right? But I don't know. They may not have pitched. They may have not pitched the TARDIS to start producing delicious dairy treats. But the Doctor Who team has come up with plenty of shocking swerves that never saw the light of day. Okay. Writing a TV show is intuitive. Iterative? Do you mean intuitive, maybe? Iterative process? Iterative process. Oh, that's an interesting word. Which suggests it being chucked around constantly during development, which is a shame, really, because you do lose story that way. The following twists were all pitched, and some were even strongly considered. However, for various reasons, they never end up happening. Who wrote this? That's quite good. I don't know. Jacob Sims. I'll be quite impressed. Okay. A rap on Clara. What's that? Mummy on the Orient Express. Clara is very hot, if I may say so. In Mummy on the Orient Express, Doctor and Clara arrive on a futuristic version of the classic train, only to find a strange monster called the Foretold is stalking passengers. Probably one of the best episodes that season. That and Flatline. Actually, this was season 11, right? Yeah, not season. I mean, this was Capaldi's first season. I believe so. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, it was, right? Right, because Danny Pink was still alive. There we go. So, yeah, this and Flatline were the two best entries of the season. I like this one a lot. I thought what's name Skinner was very good, right? And if you think that's scary, you should see the state of the toilets. That's where the real monsters lie. Okay. This episode was written by Jamie Matheson, who would go on to pen the 3-part script for the show. In his blog, Matheson revealed a number of abandoned story elements for the Mummy on Orient Express, including one concerning the fate of Clara. Originally, Clara was supposed to have seen the Foretold and would have had to hide from it in the sarcophagus. However, unfortunately for her, this wasn't a great move, as the sarcophagus would be revealed to be the Foretold making machine before wrapping her in bandages, presumably transferring into one of the creatures. Gasp! The idea was nixed in favor of simplifying the narrative, but it certainly would have been interesting to see how the Doctor got himself with that one. That really would have been a lot better. Yeah, that would have been awesome. I think that added something to that script really lacked. Right? Like a much better element and danger. I like that a lot, right? I like that a lot. And then the Doctor's got to get back for Danny Pink, right? That really would have worked so much better. Damn, simplifying that narrative. That was a mistake. That was a real mistake, mate. I'm sorry. Yeah, not on board for that change. Sarah Jane fills the heat. Okay, let's see what it is. Elizabeth Saban was involved in some of the best episodes of the classic Doctor, along with the 3rd and 4th Doctors, before revisiting the character in Modern Who and even getting her own spin-off. Twice, I would say. Sladen tragically passed away far too young at 65, cutting her time in the Whoniverse short. Yes, it is tragic. I agree. Sarah Jane never actually died on screen, though, but that doesn't mean the writers never tried. In an alternate version of Sarah Jane's final classic story called The Lost Legion. Oh, that didn't happen. Fine. It was planned to she'll be straight up killed by an alien soldier before dying in the arms of the Doctor. The series would have ended with her body being burnt on a funeral pyre as the TARDIS flies away. How dark? Thankfully, this never happened. Yes, that would have been a real mistake. Sarah suffers far worse fate, being left in Aberdeen instead, kind of. And we got to enjoy many more years of this wonderful character being played by a truly wonderful lady. Okay, yeah, that was a tough idea. Well done, whoever nicks that. Humany woomany Silurians. Okay, humany woman too far Moffat, too far. Back in the fifth series of Modern Who, the writer and future showrunner Rusty Days, not Rusty, I mean Christian. Let my brain Substitute Rusty Davis. I couldn't bring myself to say it. That was really wild. Brought by the classic monster, hadn't seen in 84. The Silurians, a race of lizard-like lizard-like creatures, also feature native to Earth. In the two-part, the Hungry Earth and Cold Blood, a mining operation awakens the hibernating colony, which are not blessed pleased with at all. But the revamped human-like look of Silurians was achieved with an intricate prosthetics, which looked great, but an absolute bugger to apply, which was bugger to apply, and it was too much work to get the prosthetics to every Silurian in the story, which is why some of them wear the grey mask with the large eyes. That's a good idea. These masks were led general to consider it an almighty retcon for this. Don't retcon anything for the Silurians and say they'd always worn masks. And no, they'd always worn masks and always had humanized faces underneath with these different revamps. That's such a dumb idea. That's such a dumb Chris Chibnall idea. Oh, go away. Go away. No, they're different tributaries, okay? Different branches of species. Doctor Deported. Okay, Power of Three, another Chibnall episode, isn't it? Off. What a weird little episode. You mean it's shit? Tiny Q's, Brian Long, Lord Sugar, delightful stuff. Not really, it's kind of boring. We also see the Doctor playing Wii tennis while waiting for those mysterious black cubes to do something. And physicist Brian Cox has a cameo. Okay. The episode almost featured another big guest cameo too, in the form of Prime Minister United Kingdom, not Harriet Jones or Harold Saxon, the new one called Stephen Carter. Who's Stephen Carter? Sadly not. The grandson of Captain Jack Harkness. One for the Children of Earth fans there. Not the grandson of Captain Jack Harkness. Carter would have been suspicious of the Doctor due to the slow invasion of the cubes. Well, who is he then? And get this. He would outright ban the Doctor from the UK, resulting in the 11th absence from the last portion of the episode. Oh, this must have been the one where they're not having, because they're not having him in. The Doctor really doesn't get along with Prime Minister, did he? The final version instead has the Doctor dipping in and out of the story and the Pond's life via the TARDIS, which feels a lot more natural way of doing things. Yeah, I guess so. I'm glad that was Nick's. That sounds like crap. Zoe in Exile. Interesting. I don't know. Tell me more. Zoe Harriet, played by Wendy Powdery, was the second Doctor's companion who appeared in 8 episodes between 86, 8 stories between 86 and 69. Okay. And had perhaps the best, how do I explain it? Best arse ever seen in Doctor. Well, you know, now I've got to qualify that, haven't I? Let me see. Do I have the time robber here? I'm not sure. If it's probably as an AVI, which means it won't play because it's that old. Hang on. Let me look. Go to the second Doctor folder. It's worth the detour if we have it. Let me tell you. No, they're all AVIs. Okay, fine. But this is the one where she's famously holding on to the TARDIS console. Just, it looks fantastic. I mean, just fantastic, right? You know, I kind of like it almost made me turn into a werewolf. It was that much of a perfect moon. It was perfectly round and beautifully positioned on the TARDIS console as it is. You know, these are just some of the reasons I love Doctor Who. Yes, a few of the reasons. You know what? I'm not the only person, though, who loves Doctor Who. I love a Doctor Who is something that's universal, but something that I find only the higher-ups in the species really understand, right? Only the more advanced, more refined members of people. I don't want one of those for you tonight. I have, however, Birmingham's King of the Geeks. Maybe if he comes on, he'll know where to find some. How are you doing, Dan?
You're a gentleman and a scholar, sir.
I am.
Anybody-
Now, from my intro, when you came in, what do you think I was speaking about?
I think you were speaking about the perfection that was the timelessly pert bottom of Zoe Herriot, as played by Wendy Padbury.
Yes, you have done well. You have done well.
Not only do I know my Doctor Who, but I know my Rabbi.
Yes,
Is
very
that right,
true.
everybody?
Yeah. So we're going. This is an article with the plot twist that nearly happened, which is quite good.
It could have been even better. How could it have been even better than that, Rabbi?
I don't know. There's been a few that's been not bad. There's been a few that's been terrible. Here, I'll walk through the ones we had so far.
Magic.
In The Power of Three, which is a shit episode, the Doctor was going to be deported for most of it by the new Prime Minister.
Sounds like a Chibnall episode, yeah.
Yeah. Another Chibnall retcon that he wanted to do, they got nixed, was he wanted to say that Silurians always had human faces, they just wore different masks. That's why they changed. He
really is a prat, isn't he?
Yeah. They in the Sarah Jane's love story in the classic series.
Yes.
They wanted to kill her off, and they got nixed by Robert Holmes and Philip Hinchcliffe. Very good. We like that.
Good move.
And this was actually very good. Number 10 was that in Mummy on the Orient Express, there was going to have a sequence in it where Clara had to hide from the mummy. And the only way she could hide was in the sarcophagus. But the sarcophagus was a mummy making machine. And she gets turned into a mummy. I thought, that sounds really cool. Right? Yeah. That I could have done.
So we could have had Jenna Coleman in a confined space, sweaty, exasperating, and thrashing about.
But you can do that now with AI. I wish I could find it. I have a video, a clip I made of Nicola Bryant saying I'm a very easy boy. It's really, you've done that. Sorry, everybody. Yes. Here, what's it? I've been playing around with it today to make thumbnails.
Is it your ringtone? Yes, that's what I want to know.
No, I can't find the file. But here, was it? Here's how I've been playing with it. It's
Lord above.
This is Wes Anderson does Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So this one, the prompt I put in was Russell T. Davies wearing a red Star Trek uniform at the science station of the Starship Enterprise. And this is what it came up with. They have a very weird idea, Rusty Davis. So there, we've got a lot of Rusty Davis over here. It kind of sort of looks like him, but he's much fatter in AI.
Well, that looks like Matthew Jacobs, the writer of the TV.
Doesn't it? It does, yeah. It's a fusion of the two.
You know what? I love those pictures. I think those are really cool. And that character, he looks, that's really cool. Not so keen on that. It reminds me of, who's that fucking idiot? Josh Gad, is it? That's who it reminds me of. Oh, yeah, not a nice.
Yeah, I love that this is their view of Russell T. Davis.
Yeah, is that sewing machine?
I don't know. It was like in engineering. It won't let you make fun of left-wing people, but you can with right.
Oh, that's
right.
funny.
So I wanted to have Dylan Mulvaney and Donald Trump drinking a beer, laughing together, but it wouldn't let me do that.
We were at Zoe Herriot's bottom, which is never a bad place to be.
No. It always is. Yes, it's very bouncy.
So yeah,
I think if I find myself falling into the land of fiction, I will visualize a giant Zoe Herriot bottom on the console.
Yeah, there's worse ways to go.
Land on nicely. Bounce on slowly. Okay, let's see what we got to say about Zoe. Sorry, here, blah, 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 blah. Astrophysicists from the future, Zoe thought like the Cybermen and the Ice Warriors before having a memory wiped by the Time Lords when they forced the Doctor to regenerate. This was at the end of her regular appearance of the shows, but if the writers got their way, they would have you would have seen a lot more of it. Plans were in place for the War Games to end slightly different with a slightly different twist. Instead, the second Doctor being exiled to Earth by himself, Zoe would have joined him, and she would have co-starred alongside John Pertwee, the third Doctor's companion. That's interesting. This would have offered a chance to further explore her genius level intellect. I see she's basically Caroline John. The similarities between the characters, while also playing on the fact that she was a woman out of time. It would have been a super interesting Zoe stuck on Earth in those unit-based stories, but Pabry decided to call it quits. Liz Shaw was created. That is fascinating. I did not know. Did you ever hear that before?
I have heard that before, and I'd forgotten about it though. That they did want to carry her over. I can see why as well, of which characters to carry over. That would have absolutely been the one.
That would have made sense. I know. Yeah, Jamie's been in for a long time. And but yeah, I see the that Liz Shaw is basically like somebody ticking the same boxes.
Yeah, she hasn't got.
That's really wild.
She's not as warm. But...
Number 5, Face of Bo. What we're going to know about? The Face of Bo was a big wrinkly face of the jar, and for some reason everybody loved him. I don't know. I liked him. I got my action figure up there. It was just so weird, and he had no idea what it was. It was interesting. It looked good. You know what it was? It looked good, and it was on English TV, and we didn't understand. Right? It was that. Yeah. That was the thing. You've got to understand. If you weren't around in 2005, one of the things about Doctor Who being so huge was it looked pucker. Right? It looked like it was a top-notch production. All right, and we never seen that before.
Yeah. Yeah, it really did.
I like that before.
It stood out like a shining beacon in the middle of Saturday night television. It really did.
Yeah, it was brilliant entertainment. Absolutely.
The reason why I like the Face of Bo is that for me, a lot of that episode actually harkens back to Douglas Adams. You know, you look at it, you think, what on earth is that? It's the Face of Bo. Okay. It's the same as when Adams told you what's that he's drinking over there? It's a Pangalactic Gargle Blaster. Okay. You just accept these things. And you just accept that that's the Face of Bo. It's a face. You can tell it's a face. Fine. Go with it.
Yeah. What was it? Like the pirate captain having a robot parrot.
Yeah.
Right? Pirate planet. It works. Yeah. It's the kind of thing Doctor Who would do. Fine. So he appeared 3 times in Doctor Who. Technically way more if you consider Captain Jack. Blah, blah, blah. Revealed the Master. In his second outing, Series 2's New Earth, the Face of Bo is one of the patients under threat from the disease hordes. And this very nearly led him to succumbing to a grisly fate. In a deadly twist, he was originally supposed to die in this episode alongside every other patient in the hospital. Consider how integral Bo would have become in Series 3 arc. Oh, who gives a shit? They will find another way. You are not alone. It was a premature end of the show. Yeah, but I think it would have been tonally very off, right? Anyway, his was spared in the likely form of Stephen Moffat, who joked that Rusty Davis only killed off interesting characters, prompting Rusty Davis to reverse course. Okay. Honestly, these writers and their egos. Well, that worked out well. Fine. Time Lords and the Daleks. The End of Time Parts 1 and 2 were stories of first and last. They were the last regular episodes to feature the 10th Doctor. By the way, more stuff encoded into that teaser trailer, if you're not aware. Let me see if I can find it.
I did see a couple of other things the other day, and I can't remember exactly what they were. I know that
here it is.
It turns out that Brooding Eilish is an anagram of John Logie Baird, who was the inventor of the television.
Oh, that's certainly tying into it, because they go to the time of the first television signal.
Yeah.
Right? Let me share this with you. A second.
Because that's what that giant puppet on the screen in what looks like Unit HQ is.
Yeah, that's the first transmission. Okay, so we have hexadecimal code here, because we have this stuff like these weird numbers, right?
Yeah.
And so this one says Dr. Donna TARDIS. I'm like, well, okay, it's kind of cool. Yeah, but this one's much more interesting. This is backwards, right? Binary. I don't want to go, right?
Yeah.
So I don't want to go is David Tennant's last line, right? So you know what binary is?
No.
Let me show you something that's going to blow your mind, right? This is really going to blow your mind.
No, that's the bit because I noticed the I don't want to go thing, but I just sort of looked past the binary thing.
Mate, that has I gotta find it. It's Journey's End. Is it Journey's End?
Charlotte, Sarah, and I got together and talked about the trailer for nearly a full hour on Monday night. It was insane.
And that's much more interesting than the trailer. But where is it? Oh, here it is. Oh, it's just right after this bit. Yeah.
Just cause. What a good name, Fellspoon. Apparently it's got mountains that sway in the breeze. Mountains that move. Can you imagine?
And how do you know that?
Because it's in your head. And if it's in your head, it's in mine.
And how does that feel?
Brilliant. Fantastic. Molto bene. Great big universe packed into my brain. You know you can fix that chameleon circuit.
Here it comes.
You just tried hotbinding the fragment links and superseding the binary. I'm fine. Nah, never mind, Fellspoon. You know what?
Right, so that's got something to do with it.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Yeah. Well spotted.
Yeah. That's got to have something to do with it, right?
Yeah. Well, that was the sign that her brain couldn't take what was in it, which I suppose chimes back to how she can have had her memory restored and still be functioning and not having burnt alive or whatever it was the doctor said.
I mean, it's coming up. Look, I think the basic point of this is to remind people they like Doctor Who, but mainly to reset it. Right? This is a very big reset from the Chibnall era, right? And I think everything's going to be retconned away explicitly, right? Explicitly. Fine, let's go back to this. The End of Time, parts 1 and 2 were stories of first and last. They were the blah blah. We read that. Led by Timothy Dalton, the present time wrote his Infinity Gauntlet. The Time was attempted to use a master as a way of pulling themselves and Gallifrey out of the Time War. Good news for them, bad news for literally everybody else. To show how far down they've gone down the path of madness, the Time Lords had gone. Rusty Davis originally plotted a shock reveal for the story that was going to show that the Time Lords had entered into an alliance with a sworn enemy, the Daleks. That would have made it much better.
Would have been very interesting. It would have been a lot of story to cover, though, I suppose.
I get, but I think that would have been really cool. The End Time already had a lot going in it. Yeah, so just imagine Time Lord Dalek Alliance had it been involved too. This idea fell through since Stephen Moffat was planning on using the Daleks in the first series as showrunner, not wanting to immediately undermine his successor. Rusty Davis removed the famous villains from his script. Okay.
Makes sense.
Regeneration 1.0. Okay. William Hartnell helmed the ship for blah blah. Okay, fine. Hartnell said goodbye. 10th panel, essentially dying of old age. The actor's exit was almost different, though very different indeed. So yeah, through the Celestial Toy Maker. His plan was to have the titular villain turn the Doctor invisible, and then when he reversed, the Doctor would reappear with a different face. Surprise! This would lead to speculation among companions that whether he was the Doctor or just another toy maker's tricks. That's going to tie into this as well, right?
I'd say so. I'd say that's informed Russell's story to some extent.
Right. I think that the David Tennant Doctor is the shooting up the Doctor, wearing a David Tennant skin.
It's
not
possible.
real. I think he's doing it. That's what I think is going. But put on by the toy maker, essentially. In the end, this proto version regeneration was nixed. Hartnell's contract was extended, and actually was that changed the face. It was actually that changed the face with somebody else taking his place as producer. Ironic. Buckingham Blast. I think I remember this one. There we go. We've got 2 more to go. We're nearly done. Doctor Who was included in the British monarchy in a number of different stories. Yeah. Rusty Davies always loved bringing British. I mean, I don't know where he feels how he is now, though.
He seemed to love Britain, in fact.
Right. Exactly, like he liked having big red number 10 buses running across, Westminster Bridge and London Eye, and he liked having landmarks. And he liked royalty, right? He did like having the royalty in his Doctor Who.
Yeah.
All right. Queen Victoria, not to mention the Doctor's many dalliances of Queen Elizabeth I. Okay, but destroying the Royal's most famous residence, that proved a step too far. In 2007's Christmas special Voyage of the Damned, and with the 10th Doctor narrowly preventing the intergalactic version of the Titanic from smashing into Buckingham Palace. What a mad sentence, right? Even mad, the original idea was it would have seen the space Titanic full-on obliterate Buckingham Palace, instead leaving the Queen angrily shaking her fist as the ship flew away. I didn't know. I never heard that before.
No, I hadn't heard that either.
For all sorts of reasons, mainly battery limitations, this was vetoed and the building was spared the violent redecorating. Oh, and fun fact, Charles, the then Prince of Wales, known as King of England, was offered a carry on this evidence, but it turned it down. Maybe he was annoyed that he wasn't the one to snog David Tennant. What? I don't think so.
No, I'd say he was okay with that.
Yeah, listen. Look, Camilla, not one of the best looking babes. Look, we're gonna tell you, but I think you still prefer her. You know?
There we are. Official. We have it official. Queen Camilla, not a babe.
Listen, I wouldn't throw her a bed. I mean, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't insult her. Yeah.
I think you'd. Yeah, if you did throw out a bed, I don't fancy your chances with those hips. I think we could. It wouldn't be very good.
Yeah, exactly.
She's knocking on.
Yeah. Exactly. You know, you got to be gentlemanly. That's what I say. You know,
help the aged. I don't mean help them to climax. I mean just help the aged.
It's got to be general. Out of bed into it. You name it. Fine. The book, the writer's tale, offers an engrossing behind-the-scenes look at the making of Doctor Who's early years. Yes, fantastic. Fine. For example, he hates dream sequences. Okay. In one section, Russell Davies calls the trope pathetically symbolic before giving an example of how he almost turned Series 2 on its head. The initial cliffhanger for the Impossible Planet was for Rose to get possessed by the mysterious beast, exclaiming, "I am the beast incarnate," right? David loved the idea, but not so much what happened next. The next episode was going to open with Rose imagining she was back home with Jackie and Mickey, only something wasn't right because it was all a dream, a twist which Russell Davies simply couldn't bear. Rose being one of the possessed antagonists of the stories would have been wild to see, but also understand why Russell Davies felt it was too weird. I think he didn't like the resolution, but other than that,
I know he worked with Matt Jones very closely on that, didn't he? He took Matt Jones under his wing as a writer. I don't know what he went on to do.
He did, especially in Series 2, right? Series 2, I think, was really solid, right? I think it really worked.
I think they all were. I can understand why people have got their favourites, but I think objectively, those 4 seasons are all really strong.
Yeah. No, look, there's some of the 4 best seasons on British TV, let alone Doctor Who. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.